皆さん、また来てくださってありがとうございます。今日は木曜日です。今日の動画は、昨日トランプさんが CNN のタウンミーティングに出られたんですね。その時のスピーチと、それからそれに対するニューヨーカーのリアクションの動画を載っけてみたいと思います。ということで、見てください。どうぞ。
Donald Trump covering a lot of ground at a CNN town hall last night. Take a look.
If elected president again, what is the first thing you would do to help bring down the cost to make things more affordable?
Drill, baby, drill.
You think the U.S. should default if the White House does not agree to the spending cuts Republicans
Well,
are
you might
demanding?
as well do it now because you'll do it later.
Do you agree with deploying troops to the border?
You're going to have millions of people pouring into our country right now at a level that nobody's ever seen before. They're living in Central Park in New York City. The city is being swamped. Los Angeles is being swamped. Iowa is being swamped.
How would you deal with the increasing threat posed by Vladimir Putin?
If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours. We have the greatest economy in the history of our country, probably the greatest economy in the history of the world. We're energy independent, soon to be energy dominant. We have more liquid gold under our feet than any other nation. And these stupid fools ended it. And energy went from $1.87 and even lower for gasoline, for a car. And your electricity bills went through the roof, your heating bills went through the roof. And that's what started inflation. And it hasn't stopped because people are paying now for bacon and for eggs and for the 2 and 3 times what it was just a little while ago.
Yeah, I mean, that is so true. That's the number one issue, I think, for all Americans right now is inflation. We can't afford what we used to be able to afford. So he's hitting the nail on the head there. This is our wonderful panel. We have Republicans, Democrats, Independents. So I just want to ask y'all, raise your hand. Is inflation the number one issue for you? It is? Okay, Marissa, how about for you? What's your number one issue?
My number one issue is national security, but obviously the economy is extremely important.
And the border falls into that category. Yeah, all right. So who here wants to talk? I'll start with you in the back, Mary Josephine, because you're an independent. And you watched last night, you heard him on CNN. What'd you think? How'd you think he did on the economy compared to Joe Biden?
I mean, there's no comparison. Under Trump, I mean, you could afford living. I mean, we live in New York City. It's impossible just to get by here. I mean, you mentioned eggs a couple of minutes ago. We have a pastry shop. Eggs about a year and a half ago were $31 a case. It went up to $161. It's down to probably about $120 right now.
You raise your rates?
Exactly. How do you survive? How much can you charge a customer, an egg omelet or an egg platter? I mean, $15, $16. It's unbelievable. As far as I'm concerned, we were much better under Trump in every facet of my life. It was just much easier to get by, especially when you're living in a city like this. I mean, we have the added New York City taxes and whatnot on us. So, I think Trump did a pretty good job last night.
Kayem, you're a Democrat. You're right here on the front row. And how is the party surviving when you look at what's happening at the border, when you look at the grocery store prices, when you look at crime increasing in all of our big Democratic cities? How do people still vote for a Democrat?
Honestly, I have no clue because it's like nothing's being done. Like everybody's losing their job. These big companies are laying everybody off. And like she was saying, it's harder than itself just to survive in New York. So something has to be changed. It just needs to be shaken up, period. It's just the same old rhetoric, the same old things, the same old people, and nothing gets done. And you just keep voting over and over for the same people. It might be a different person, but the same thing. They're doing the same thing. Nothing changes.
I know. And the way that they treat the Biden family compared to the Republican families. I mean, who wants to run for office now if you're a Republican?
Exactly.
Lisa Angela, what is your biggest concern?
New York City, it's a killer for small business. Actually, New York State, we are small business owners. Taxes are killing us.
Have you thought about leaving?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So many that have.
Many times, and we're already making a plan and packing because we can, it's crime in New York City. Mm-hmm. It's the cost of living. They don't care about anybody that works hard, but they care about the people that are using and abusing the system. And we can't keep going this way.
Okay, Chris, right behind you. What is your biggest concern?
My biggest concern is always what's going on in the home front, and then immediately after that would be immigration, and then beyond that is foreign concerns.
Yep.
But something we were talking about earlier, and I believe it's a good thing to cover, is Trump is a business owner. He's ran major businesses, and I think that the country is basically a very large business. And when you put someone who knows how to operate a business, budgets, and everything that goes along with it, it's a real...
Is the country ready for him again?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
All right, John, we haven't heard from you on this panel. Yeah, tell us what your concerns are.
Under Trump, we have prosperity and opportunity. Under Biden, we have despair and survival.
Yeah.
People are trying to survive the Biden economy. Whether you talk about household budgets in terms of inflation, for common things in terms of paying the rent, utility bills, groceries, and caring for their families, people are trying to figure that out. And they're also using credit in terms of revolving credit just to try to close their home budgets at a time in which interest rates are extremely high. So, you know, people are thinking about, okay, if it's Trump, Biden, hey, you know what? I think I had it really well under Trump.
Yep.
So this economy under Biden is really highlighting the positive policies that existed under Trump.
I think for a lot of people, it's the direction of this country too. I mean, we're terrified when you can't afford your eggs at your restaurant. That's really scary. And putting food on the table for our kids, paying for their college,
is national, foreign security, right?
I know.
National security. Yeah,
right.
Totally.
Y'all, thank you so much. I'm sorry I did not get to y'all. I'm going to tell Brian in the next hour to get to y'all first, okay?